The benefits of an effective SEO strategy as an integrated part of a wider marketing approach have long been recognized by marketers. In fact, they probably point to statistics like the fact that, according to Google, 53% of consumers in the US report researching products on a search engine before making a purchase decision. Or perhaps a search engine journal statistic that reports that 64.6% of SEO pros saw better results in 2021 from the channel than previous year. However, even today, there are a number of challenges, which include a limited understanding of the power involved with SEO and the fact that SEO is perhaps not seen as a real science and more of a moving target. And the one issue that keeps coming up is the fact that SEO is dead, or so people claim. So to help clear this SEO fog, our guest who's done a search engine optimization for Fortune 100 companies is probably a good person to help clear up the air. Hello and welcome to the Predictable B2B Success podcast brought to you by spreadwith.com. I'm Vinay Koshy and our guest today is Edward. Edward, you have an amazing resume, so let me try and highlight a few things. You are an early viral video creator on YouTube, made the first play-to-earn blockchain game while running the biggest blockchain meetup in the world. You've done search engine optimization, of course, for Fortune 100 companies. You are also the co-founder of a remote communication tool with over 1 million users. Is that Reverb?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Brilliant. So I'm curious, given your experiences, obviously Reverb is a fairly new venture. I'm curious, what got you started into developing that?
So it's actually a crazy story. I was living in Kiev, Ukraine in summer of 2019. And my co-founder and I, we made the first video game in blockchain, in crypto. And that was a year and a half prior that it launched. And we hadn't really worked on anything for the last 6 months up until that point. And I'm like, I want that spirit of we're just these starry-eyed kids where we're just building for the sake of building and seeing what happens. And so it was one night, it was 2 a.m. and I was walking around this beautiful lookout in Kiev, looking over the Dnieper River. And we were having this long conversation about what's something simple that we could build and launch in a weekend and we could see what happens with it. And we came up with the concept for Reverb, was a really simple concept. At the time, you couldn't actually do voice tweets on Twitter. You couldn't record your voice into a tweet. And so we said, let's make like a cloud-based voice recorder where you just record your voice and you can share with a link. And those links also embed into Twitter. So people can play them right there in Twitter. And we launched that. And actually, we had no idea who was going to use it. And we started with a very simple, two of the best platforms to launch any new technology products are beta list and product hub. And so we started with a beta list launch and we had no idea who was going to use it. And it turned out that actually was like widely adopted by education. And here's the thing, we like appear pretty instantly in a lot of ed tech blogs. And here's the thing about education. If you have one teacher as a user, their whole class will use it. So that's 30 or 40 students right there. If you have a head of technology at a school, that's several hundred. And this was happening. We launched it basically like 8 months before, or not, maybe 9 months before lockdowns. And kids couldn't go to school. And we had a way for people to communicate over distances. And we did really well. We had a lot of users. We helped a lot of people. And in that time, I set up a really thorough search engine optimization funnel to the point where after I set it up, we were getting at peak only from SEO, just from SEO, 32,000 users a month, only from SEO. But the thing is, because of the nature of our platform, these people would share it with other people. And that's what happened. And now we're actually adding in a really insane feature into Reverb using AI that nobody else is doing. So, yeah.
What is that feature? Since you got me curious now.
I got you curious? I did it? Okay. All right, good. So every other, a lot of, okay, every other AI platform, they're adding in AI in pretty much like the same ways. It's like you have Notion, just adding in like GPT summaries
Mhm.
and helpful, like it can help you with creating content and all that stuff. And then you have with the voice ones, everyone who works, all the AI companies who work with voice are doing text to speech. We are doing speech to speech. And it's not just speech to speech, it's speech to anybody's voices. And so you can choose from a variety of AI models made by other people and pretty much speak in like anybody's voice. And you can leave your friends funny messages with reverb in somebody else's voice.
Right.
And it's speech to speech. And so like 11 Labs, for example, will let you type out a message and then you can say it in Barack Obama or Elon
Mhm.
Musk. Elon Musk is a very
Right.
popular model. But you write it out. And it's very different when it's written out and then the AI speaks it than it is when you speak it and the AI speaks it. It's a lot harder to do as well. And the reason why I actually think it's better is there's more emotion
Mm.
involved. If you're a bad speaker, maybe you prefer text to speech, but a lot of people want to preserve the emotion because it sounds more real. That you have the real flaws in the way that people speak. People start one word and then they change it into another word while they're speaking. Just did that. People stutter. People
Yeah.
emphasize certain words, and everybody emphasizes words in different ways. And so that's what we're putting in. And we're actually
Mm.
probably going to roll this out in the next week. And yeah, we think we could be a pretty fast growing product with this new feature, far more than 1 million users.
I would imagine so, and look forward to that coming out. Edward, going back to perhaps what was one of your original forte, SEO, how did you get started into that? Was there a particular incident or
Yeah, actually, there
event
was.
that started your journey?
Yeah, that's a great question. I like talking about this. So here's what happened. I was one of the first viral video producers on YouTube, and I was a promoter for New York City nightclubs. And I was also really dumb. I was also a really dumb kid. And so I didn't really realize that I could have had a really good future continuing to make videos on YouTube. And I was getting tired of the New York City nightlife scene. I did it for 3 years. I was basically from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. I was out every night.
Mm.
And it's a very exhausting lifestyle. And then in 2015 or 2014, a lot of my friends from New York City nightlife started getting into tech.
Right.
And I did not realize that YouTube was a really cool place to be. I'm like, YouTube is a place that me and my friends will make videos on. And then sometimes these videos will do. I was not like, YouTube is how billionaires will be born in the future, which is literally like what is happening now. And I wanted to get into tech. I didn't know where to start. I read a bunch of books, and me and my friend, we decided to make a video information product on how to make viral videos, because we've made all these viral videos. Let's make a video information product on how to
Mm.
do that. We'll sell them online, and that's going to be my like step into tech. And we made this product in the course of a week. I was still staying up all night to make it. It was one of the hardest times that I've worked in my life. And we sold it, but it was never showing up on Google. And I said, that's so odd. We bought the website. It was called the Viral Bible. Now that website's yourviralbible.com, which redirects to my site. It was not showing up on Google. And I kept trying to figure out how to make this product show up on Google. And as I was learning like how Google worked, I just became very interested in it.
Mm.
And I kept going down this rabbit hole of, oh, well, but what happens if you do this? And what are these shortcuts? And do these shortcuts work anymore? No, they don't. Or oh, wow, look at all these experiments. And I just felt like if you could understand Google, you basically understand the way that the internet works. And I felt like I had this elite level knowledge because I understood the place that everyone gets their information from, and I could make things appear on it. And it felt like magic. And so I did it myself. I had my own website, which I still have. It's called edwardsturm.com. And I had just my name.com. It was crazy because when I started this, I was able to leverage the viral videos that I made and the press appearances that I had from those viral videos to get heads of marketing agencies writing articles for edwardsturm.com. And I was a 25-year-old kid with a new website named after my name, and far more senior marketing professionals with real agencies were writing articles for my site. It was like wild. And then I wanted to get like real experience. So I went to go work at this company called iProspect, owned by Dentsu Aegis Network, one of the biggest marketing agencies in the world. I had Fortune 500 companies as clients, the biggest companies that you would have heard of. And then after that, I started my own agency. I was doing SEO for Microsoft and Time Inc. and all these SMBs. And then after that, I got into blockchain. And, yeah, that's my SEO journey.
Perfect. And given your journey to date, what would you say would be your personal area of strength?
It's weird because I feel like I'm good at just so many things. Okay, so I'm great. I'm probably one of the best SEOs in the world, but I don't think that's going to matter for much longer. I really believe that Google is about to disrupt itself. It is too threatened by ChatGPT and other conversational AI. It's testing Bard really thoroughly, and it's going to roll it into all of Google. And everyone's going to be using conversational AI, even though it's wrong a bunch of times. And so like Google is going to be heavily disrupted. Webmasters will see their traffic go down, and they will need to adapt to conversational AI. I figured out a way to do that, but it's still not it's going to be rare for a company to get as much traffic as they used to from Google. And I think a lot of companies will be hit. Okay, I'm really good at SEO, but I started a TikTok 6 months ago where I talk about tech and business, and I just started it, didn't know what I was doing. And now I've had several viral videos. I have tens of thousands of followers. I literally made the most viewed video in the world on the Silicon Valley Bank collapse. So I think I'm pretty good at making videos too. I go on a lot of podcasts, like 2 to 3 a week. I think I'm pretty good at speaking. And I have some of the like most insane friends. Here's the thing. I think the question is, what am I bad at? That's more, I don't know. I sound way too pompous, but for sure, there are plenty of things that I'm bad at. And because I just love visibility. I like doing things where people are going to see me and they're going to see my projects. That's my passion. That's what I think I excel at.
I was going to say, if I were to put my finger on it, it would probably be that. In that space, what would you say is something that businesses don't know but should?
I think everybody should be creating videos, or having podcasts is great as well. I'm really convinced about the power of podcasts. What you're doing is amazing. The reason why podcasts are great is because even though you might not have as many like viewers as me and as many followers as me, you have a far stronger connection with your listeners than I have with my viewers. Far stronger. You are literally in people's ears, however often you post your podcast, and people know what to expect from you, and they come and they listen for you, and they learn to trust you. And the thing about, especially like the types of videos that I'm making, because I'm making short form mobile videos, which are appearing, basically they're just algorithmically recommended based on engagement metrics. That's a lot more hit and miss. And it's a lot more meritocratic, actually. Followers don't matter as much in a lot of those realms. TikTok followers don't really matter, actually. Instagram followers matter a decent amount more. YouTube subscribers actually matter a lot, but still, if the engagement metrics aren't there, YouTube won't recommend your videos. Podcasts, people just create a relationship with you. So I think everyone should be doing mobile video, because when you do go viral, it is life-changing. And it's really easy to use tools like reusevideo.com. So you can literally be syndicated across all social media with no watermark. So it's like it's like you spend 15 to 25 minutes to make a video in like the TikTok app, and then you put it up, but then it appears on everywhere else. It appears on Instagram, it appears on YouTube, it appears on Facebook, it appears on LinkedIn, it appears on Pinterest, it appears on Twitter. And that's a pretty game changer. That's like pretty much a game changer. That is a marketing hack. And so you could invest 15 to 25 minutes every day into making a video about your company, have it go to all platforms. And if you do that for a year, it's not a lot of time. And in that year, you'll have 2 or 3 videos go viral that will completely change your business's trajectory and your life. And I think that's like the time investment is just so minimal there. And it's so easy to develop an audience. So whereas like, I think podcasts are harder, especially harder to get started, because as far as I know, you're not algorithmically recommended to the extent that TikTok is going to recommend my videos when I just started a channel. So yeah, I think everyone should be doing video, and you can talk about anything. If you're a student, you can talk about what you're learning. If everyone's journey matters. Everyone's story matters. People think that they're boring, but they don't, and they're just insecure. They don't realize that they have an interesting story. And yeah, everyone's story is interesting. So that's what I believe.
Sound advice, and I would say not only is it how to do stand-up podcasts, but it's probably how to sustain. If the statistics I'm looking at are to believe that there's probably a lot of podcasts that have been cut off at some stage, probably earlier in the piece than others. So the actual number of podcasts that have stood the test of time is actually quite small. But
yeah, of course, most projects are abandoned in general. A podcast is like any other project, and most people abandon their projects. That's another thing that I've learned in business. It's like, if you start something, you got to be prepared to stick with it. I actually believe like anything can succeed, and most people just don't give their efforts time. And so I've made that mistake myself way too many times. And now I have this thing, I call it the 2-year rule. And it's, if you start something, you better be prepared to stick with it for 2 years. But if you stick with it for 2 years, some amazing things will happen. I'm 6 months in to making my social media videos. The things that have happened to me are already crazier than I thought they would. In a year and a half from now, I can't even imagine what opportunities I will be offered. I just can't even, like, if the last 6 months are any indicator, the next year and a half will be like so wild. And so 2-year rule, it's pick something that you're passionate about so that you can stick with it. You being like, pick something that you're passionate about is horrible advice, because people recommend it without knowing why it's good advice. So it's just generic. It's like a platitude. People really they recommend it because it's like a feel good saying. No, the reason you have to pick what you enjoy is because you're only going to get traction if you stick with it for a long time, and you won't be able to stick with it for a long time if you don't like it. And yeah. And so that's been like the biggest game changer for me, is just realizing I'm on this journey. I got to commit to it. It's really changed things.
This idea of AI affecting our lives, you've touched upon it. You certainly talked about it from a certain point of view as well. And obviously there's a lot of conversations saying that AI changes SEO, the SEO game, at least for a lot of companies. Again, you touched upon that. So does that mean that to stand any chance of showing up on the search engine pages that are certainly relevant, i.e. page 1, that we need to change the way we look at SEO, or do the same principles still apply?
Yeah. So I wrote an article about this, and I'm really proud of this because I appeared in my favorite search engine optimization newsletter, the SE Search Engine Roundtable newsletter, which I think is...
I don't think I'm subscribed to it any longer, but I certainly keep an eye on it from time to time.
It's my favorite one. It's a daily newsletter. And the guy who operates it, Rusty Brick on Twitter, he's great. And so I wrote this article about like how SEO is changing from search engine optimization to search experience optimization, because people are doing searches, not just in search engines, but they're still searching, and you need to optimize the way that people's searches are answered, people's queries are answered. And so here's how this changes. Long form, top of funnel content is no longer profitable. So that means if you write, like it used to be, there literally was a tactic in SEO called the skyscraper technique. You know it. Yeah. It worked. It was great. And I've used it. You put in a lot of effort into making a piece of content really long. And then you call it like the ultimate guide for buying milk. That way you can rank for how to buy milk and recommend your brand, something like that. And you just put in so much effort and you just put in so much detail that Google goes, we're going to show this because clearly these people care. And then you would get a lot of traffic and you'd have your product recommended and you can do pop-ups and you can monetize in all these ways. Now what happens is you ask ChatGPT or Bing AI Chat or Bard, which is Google's competitor to ChatGPT, and you say, how do I buy milk? What should I look for? Bing gives you the answer in 2 to 3 sentences. Then you can ask further questions if you're confused about anything. And that's all you need. And instead of reading a 3,000, 4,000 word article, you read 2 to 3 sentences. And the AI learns from your 3,000 word article and they don't recommend it.
Yeah.
And if they do, people aren't even going to click it because you got what you needed. You were the searcher, got what you needed. So this type of search engine optimization is no longer profitable. So that's how this is going to change. However, there are still forms of search engine optimization which are profitable both for search engines because search engines will continue being widely used for, I think, at least a few more years. And that are profitable for conversational AI like ChatGPT or Bard or Bing. And that is targeting bottom of funnel keywords. So a bottom of funnel keyword,
Right.
it could be, would you like to explain it? Actually, yeah. What do you think of bottom of funnel keyword? You seem very well versed with SEO and.
I would put it this way, which is basically phrases or terms that people would use to finalize a purchase decision or buy decision.
Yeah. That's exactly it. People are ready to buy or use something and they know what they want, but they don't know the company that will give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I describe it. The searcher knows what he or she wants, but does not know the company that they can get it from. Whereas like mid funnel would be like, they're almost ready to buy, but they're still asking questions around it. No, I want white Nikes size 10 for men, the width of this style of X, Y, and Z style. And that's a bottom of funnel. And bottom of funnel search engine optimization actually it's a very people who've been doing SEO for years don't even realize how profitable it is because it requires way less words. Instead of having to write 3,000 or 4,000 words, you have to write 150 to 450 words. There's not as much traffic, but it's very qualified. All the people hitting your long article, most of them are not ready to move on or buy. Really most. Whereas almost like everyone who's hitting your bottom of funnel page, they are looking to use your products or service. And so it has a far higher conversion, like crazy high conversion rate. And targeting these bottom of funnel keywords, the only way to really do it is to target them exactly. And so this is also profitable for conversational AI because when you ask conversational AI, which learns from the internet, give me like the shoe and you name the shoe and you spell it out, it recommends your brand because you have targeted it with such specific language. You targeted the keyword with such specific language. That is still going to be a profitable use of time for search engine optimization because it translates to conversational AI. And it's always it's purchase oriented as well. So you are dictating what people should purchase around a specific keyword. And it works for search engines and it works for conversational AI. And then the other aspect of SEO really quickly is just it's technical SEO, which is also relevant for conversational AI. The AI needs to be able to crawl your content and it needs to be able to crawl your content and understand it. If you have a single page JavaScript heavy application that the AI can't understand, then your content will not be recommended. Or if you accidentally have the robot.txt file to say, do not crawl this, or if you have no index on, there are all these technical things that need to be done. But really the biggest one is like, I see a lot of webmasters with JavaScript heavy websites that don't do server side rendering. And as a result, like Google can't crawl them. And certainly conversational AI will not be able to get answers from their sites.
Right. If the focus that you're recommending should be primarily on a bottom of funnel content, how would we get people to be educated and share their experience through the whole education process so that they're perhaps more inclined to take our brand more seriously? Otherwise, I would imagine there would be this feeding frenzy of people trying to get into these bottom of funnel keywords, creating a lot of competition and not really serving the buyer unless they're somewhat acquainted with the brand and the ins and outs of what the overall experience with that brand would look.
So you're asking, how do you use search experience optimization? How do you use conversational AI to build trust with searchers?
Yeah.
I don't think you do. I just don't think you do anymore. I think you have
Right.
other channels that you have to grow on to grow your brand. Yeah, I guess theoretically, I like, yeah, I don't, yeah, it's just, I think conversational AI works different. It works too different from Google because Google just recommends it. There was a study done by this great website called, I think it's called detailed.com, detailed with a D. It found that most of Google is dominated pretty much by 10 holding companies. And like these 10 holding companies, their properties are what rank for most of the queries on Google. And so like any searcher, they're just seeing like one of these properties. The thing about conversational AI is that it's drawing from a lot of different properties. It's not like you search for how to do something and you go into the first results and that's all you need. The conversational AI is drawing from several different results that also like normally could be like 2 or 3 pages back in the search engine results pages. And sometimes it's recommending its sources. Sometimes it's citing its sources and sometimes it's not. But it's a lot more, I actually think it's a lot more meritocratic. I think conversational AI is a lot more meritocratic about how it gets its information. And yeah, go on.
I'm curious. I hear you saying that, but given that most of the income, at least in Google's case, comes from its ads, from the ads that it shows, does that mean that with people searching or using conversational AI, be it bad or whatever else it might evolve into, to find answers to things that they're looking for, that the ad platform would mirror these sorts of queries and try and serve up whatever they have a repository that's closest to what the user is trying to search for?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've seen mockups where if you like certain words in an answer from Bard are underlined, and if you hover over them, you get an ad, or you
Right.
still see, an ad at the top or on the right hand side. For sure. There are plenty of different ways to monetize, to put ads into conversational AI, and that will continue to happen. I don't think, yeah, yeah. I think I guess Google hasn't. I'm trying to think like, why hasn't Google done this sooner? Because a lot of people are saying, oh, this is killing Google's ad business. And that's why they didn't do it sooner. But I don't really think so. I mean, yeah, I don't really think so, especially with bottom of funnel keywords, which are the most profitable terms to bid on. I think what it kills is it kills webmasters who, yeah, but I don't think I don't think it kills their ad platform. I guess the answers could be better. And so people might not click into ads. Suppose that could be the case. There wasn't the urgency to put it in. So they didn't put it in. Maybe that's what it is. I'm talking through it, trying to think this out myself.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or would you say that those who had perhaps invested at least a little bit in aiding voice queries, be it through devices like Alexa, even your smartphone, probably at a better place than most of us who just looked at traditional SEO?
you're saying are people who worked on targeting voice AI, are they in a better place? Yeah, for sure. Cause targeting voice AI is like way more bottom of funnel. Yeah, it's way more bottom of funnel. Certainly. Though a lot of people they will ask like, how do I do when the AI will narrate solutions? And then you have to be more concise. But yeah, I think they are. I think just given the conversational nature of how you ask an AI something versus like how you ask a search engine something, the people who optimize for the conversational nature are in a better place. Because optimizing for when you search on Google, you as a searcher will use the smallest amount of words possible. That's always how searchers do it. You say, what is the best couch for a home office for somebody who does JavaScript programming? So you go, for a query like that, you write into Google, best couch, home office for JavaScript programmer, which is a really odd thing to search, but you take out as many words as you can. And with conversational AI, you actually write out the question, you have a conversation. And I think that's the case with voice as well. You don't say, Alexa, best couch. You actually ask the question.
Yeah.
And so the people who have optimized for that are in a better place.
There's a couple of things that you talked about. One, that to build trust, you probably need to do it through other means and perhaps other platforms. Would things like TikTok, YouTube, etc., come into the picture when you're thinking along those lines, as well as other social media platforms? Yeah, let's start there. Is that what you would suggest that people invest?
I think a lot about how to hedge against AI. As someone who is as good at SEO as I am, and I have an AI startup, and then I have other startups. So this is something that I need to be thinking about. And I have a lot of white collar friends. And so I've been thinking a lot. Yeah. How do you hedge against AI? And I think, yes, becoming a creator is an excellent way to hedge against AI. Actually, I had an interesting call with a friend today. It's related, but I don't know if this is really going to be useful for your listeners, but it is like an interesting story. And my friend, he's from Israel. He's living in Poland right now, and he's going to become a locksmith in North Carolina, and then maybe go do it in some more expensive places in the United States. And I said, why do you want to do that? He explained some of his reasons. And I said, I actually think that's like a great idea. And the reason for that is because blue collar jobs are like a lot harder to disrupt with AI, especially something like a locksmith. I'm like, that is not like the only way to disrupt like locksmiths are to have every building use Face ID or like fingerprints or your voice, but basically put in like a smart sensor to open your door. And that is not going to happen. And so those like blue collar jobs will still be very lucrative, and people can make, if they want, like probably on the high end, it's only several $100,000 a year. But for a lot of people, that's great. A lot of people aren't trying to make millions or tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars being an entrepreneur. A lot of people, they want to have a high paying, stable job that's comfortable. And so that is like doing a blue collar job like that. I respect it a lot because it's not sexy, but he can make a lot of money and be really comfortable. And he's doing the thing that's not sexy, which is what a lot of other people are unwilling to do. And tech is sexy. Let's say you want to do the sexy stuff. You don't want to become a locksmith. You don't want to become a plumber, and you want to do the sexy stuff because it's fun and you get to stay home and you get to stay in your room. Yeah, I think being a creator is an excellent way to hedge against AI. And here's a beautiful thing about starting on like something like TikTok. A lot of people are embarrassed to show their face. They're embarrassed to start. What am I going to say? Oh, I don't want my friends to see me. I don't want to have to promote this. I don't want to have to learn about the promotion. You can start a channel. The algorithm will recommend your content for you, so you don't have to promote it. And if you don't share your channel with anybody, like if you don't share your channel with your friends, won't see it. You can
Hmm.
turn off the settings that notify your contacts about you, and your friends won't see your content when you start. So you don't have to feel embarrassed about how bad it is. And TikTok will recommend TikTok or IG or whatever will recommend your content to people. I'm mentoring a friend, and this is a true story. This literally happened today. And he's a bit of a mentor to me as well. So like we mentor each other. I'm like the guy who posts on TikTok every day, and he wants to have a channel and an audience like me. And so I've been helping him. He started an account 7 days ago. He got his first viral video literally a couple of hours ago. He went from this morning, he was at 50 followers. And now I think he just surpassed 3,000 in a
Wow.
single day. Crazy. And on TikTok, you can't put in a link in your profile until after you have 1,000 followers. So now
Hmm.
he got that feature. So now he can put a link in and talk about it and have that link in. And, but no one that he knew was seeing his videos. No one that he knew. And he was really just effing around. He was really just learning. He's writing his scripts this is what he does. This is his workflow. He has ChatGPT write his scripts, takes 10 seconds. He uses an app there's a great app, it's called Captions. I think it's captions.ai. And they have way too many features in, and they really just need to like take out all the extra features and just double down on how good the core features are. But the core features are still good enough. And what it is, you have a teleprompter in the app. So you're reading, but then it has an AI eye tracker that makes it look like you're not reading. It makes it look like you're looking at the camera. So he has ChatGPT write the script. He copies it into this app. He reads it and adds in some like personal touches here and there. And then he exports it, puts it into TikTok and adds in sound. And yeah, he does have to do some editing in TikTok. He has to cut out the spaces in between, like the pauses in between, not words, but sentences. And their AI like they have that feature in the app, but it doesn't really work properly. Maybe it'll work out in a couple of weeks or months from now. But so right now he does that manually. So the whole thing takes him like the whole thing, like 20, like I said, 15 to 25 minutes. And it's really not a lot of time. And so he just went viral today. Literally, he started this 7 days ago. I was with him in Poland. I was with him in Warsaw 7 days ago when he started this. And then I flew out several hours after that, and he started it. And now a week later, crazy, he went from 50 followers to 3,000.
Hmm.
And ChatGPT wrote the entire script. So I think people like business owners are sleeping on how easy this is. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Business owners are sleeping on how easy this is. It's a great way to hedge against AI. And I think having a personal brand has only been on the up year over year. It's only been on the up year over year. So the one thing about having a personal brand is you really need to be consistent with it. You can't give up. You can't give up. And it will be very tempting to give up within the first 6 months or first 2 years. It will be very tempting. For my first 3 months, my friend got success fast because he had me as a mentor. My first 3 months, I didn't have any mentors. I had 100 views for all of my videos. And I had very few followers for the first 3 months. On day 85, I learned about having hooks in my videos. And then I went from, on that 5 days later, I went from 1,500 followers to I think 7,000 followers. And then very quickly, I surpassed 10,000. But that's just because I believe in the process of practice and learning and iteration and trial and error. I believe in all of that. And yeah, so I think it's a great hedge. That's my long-winded answer. You're like, let's just start with TikTok. And then I go on a 30-minute rant.
That's brilliant. And thank you for sharing that different perspective.
So are you a performance marketer?
No.
What's your background?
I did content. Well, more recently, I've done content and content marketing. At the moment, focusing in on case studies for companies, but as opposed to case studies as you might normally see them on the internet, which is very much problem challenge, solution, or results focused, focusing more on the stories from a customer perspective. So that's my groove at the moment.
Focusing on the stories is great. And so you're making content. Is that correct?
Right? Yeah.
And the content that you make, that's written content, that's video content.
It could be both or something a bit different depending upon what a client would like and how to
Okay.
best position these case stories to leverage either the sale process or even the funnel.
So you've
Encouraging people
positioned your specific niche as you make the best client success stories for, I guess it would basically be agencies.
yeah, it could be agencies or tech companies that wish to use and let people know how the technology helps, both from a positional perspective as well as a company-wide perspective.
That's a really cool niche. Yeah. So you know, okay. So you clearly know a great deal about marketing.
Oh, I wouldn't say I've had as much experience as you've had, but yeah, I'm aware. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. No, because you've been asking very good questions, far
Thank
better
you.
questions than a lot of other hosts I talk to ask. And so it's like very clear to me that you know your stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for that. So, with this idea of leveraging platforms like TikTok and YouTube, would you say, and I'm thinking of this more from a podcasting perspective, would you say that with recording podcasts with video and then slicing and dicing them and spreading them across TikTok and YouTube to gain a similar level of traction? And if it is,
I'll tell you what you could do. Like for you, if you wanted just a shortcut and you're like, look, this is cool what you're saying. I don't want to put 15 to 25 minutes in every day, but I'd like to utilize these platforms. It sounds pretty cool how you can repurpose your content. And so actually there's an AI tool that was made by ByteDance that literally lets you put in long form videos like
right,
our podcast. Yeah. And it will chop it up into mobile sized content with
right,
captions, with a hook. And these people who made it worked at ByteDance, so they know what like TikTok is looking for. And, and it does like a pretty decent job. Even though I go on a lot of podcasts, I don't use it because I guess I think I would use it if I would probably use it if I had a better webcam to speak.
okay,
If I was speaking on a better webcam and I had a nice setup. You have a pretty good setup. If I had a nicer setup, I haven't invested in that because I travel every couple of months and it doesn't make sense to get, I guess I could have a decent background. And I think me going on a lot of podcasts is a recent thing. And so I probably, now that I'm talking about it, it's like I'm doing all these different things. But now that I'm talking about it, yeah, it would make sense to actually invest in just getting a nicer camera. How's my audio? Is my audio okay?
well, your audio is fine. I was going to say it would be fairly simple to get a collapsible green screen that you could put behind you and then,
Yeah. I don't
yeah,
even know if I don't even know if I need it. I might not even need a
fair
collapsible.
enough. Yeah,
But I couldn't travel. Maybe I could fit it in my suitcase. But yeah, collapsible green screen, but I might not even need it to add in a background because
sure.
the
Yeah,
AI background tech is so good now. So it would really just be a better camera for my face. And then I would need to get a light. I would definitely
yeah.
need to get a light because different places that I live in have like different lighting scenarios. So I would need those two things. I would need, yeah, a camera and a light. And then if I got that, actually, I might go and use these like AI because it's just more content. It's just, it's really like the game is just volume of content.
So,
And yeah, what's here? Let me tell you this tool. You want me to find this tool?
yeah, I was going to say, what is this tool that you were talking about?
It's a really cool tool. And last time I used it, it was free and just really easy to use. I don't know if it is anymore. Actually spoke to their team because I'm like, this is amazing. I'd like to help you. And okay, give me a second. Give me a second. I have
No
to go through
worries.
like several searches to find it. No, I'll have it for you literally in the next 15 seconds. You do a countdown. Okay.
No
There it
problem.
is.
You're not under pressure here.
13, here we go. I just have to search. Okay. I guess it is opus.pro.
Yeah,
OPUS.
I just
Pro.
used it yesterday.
Yeah.
I just tried it out yesterday. So, yeah,
How did you
familiar
like
with
it?
it. I thought it was pretty darn good. Yes, they chopped it up pretty nicely. Yeah, I did have plans of trying it out some more and seeing how it go.
I literally spoke to their team because I was like so impressed with what they were doing. And Yeah, I think were you satisfied? I'm actually curious. Like, what do you think the content was good enough that you would actually post it on something like TikTok?
Yeah, obviously these videos, these recordings are long form. Does a nice job of chopping it up. I did play a couple of them. Thought that, yeah, they were pretty decent. It, it doesn't always necessarily give you a clean cut, as in the start of the sentence through to the end of another
Yeah, but
sentence, but
I
there's
don't know
enough
if
for
you
me.
tried it. You can also edit. You can literally
Yeah,
edit the
you
words.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I think you can download it and chop it up as well, additionally, if you wanted to. But it does
No, but
gives
I'm
you.
saying the the editor in the web app that they have, like for like taking out sentences and like editing, trimming the video that way is still really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
correcting the
yeah, I would.
transcriptions where they don't transcribe everything properly, because that happens too.
Correct. Yeah.
I will say I tried one of their videos and it only got 300 views, and I
Okay.
only tried one, but I do think if the video quality on my end was higher, then I think the video would have performed better, because they picked out they picked out a pretty good hook and a pretty good point.
Yeah.
And they picked out a point where I was animated talking about whatever I was talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like, that type of tech in a year from now, it's going to be so much better too.
Yeah.
So
But
much better.
I will need to put it out there to see how much traction it gets me. But yeah.
I just think everyone should be posting daily on these platforms. Like let me tell you the crazy thing about YouTube is I didn't start getting, I don't even have a lot of subscribers on YouTube. I think I have 170 subscribers on YouTube. Here's a crazy thing about YouTube. 1.5 months ago, I had 18 subscribers, and I had been posting every day for 5 months before that. And so my YouTube growth is like, it's just flat basically for 5 months. And then within a month, it just goes up. And it's not because of a single video. That's how the YouTube algorithm works,
Right.
is that YouTube needs to see that you post consistently for a long period of time before it'll start showing your videos to people. And it's the same thing with if you start like a newsletter. A lot of providers don't help you warm up your email. If it's like a new email, you need to warm up your email so you don't appear in spam. That's the thing. A lot of people don't really realize, if you open up a new email to do a newsletter and you don't warm it up first, you will appear in people's spam folders. And it's the same thing with these platforms. Need to know that they can trust you. And a good way is this person consistent? And so, yeah, I just think it's something that everybody should be doing. And it's okay. People don't also realize that, hey, it's okay if you suck at first, because everybody sucks at first. Everyone sucks at first. I sucked at first. My videos are a lot better now. And then probably in 6 months, I'll be like, oh my God, my video sucked 6 months ago. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm curious. You've been playing in the blockchain space, and I would have to confess I know little about blockchain. But do you see, or are you aware of perhaps links between or blockchain and SEO, be it AI assisted or otherwise, being having more of a correlation with each other?
I don't think there will be anything substantial
Sure. Okay.
between blockchain and other than all the people who got into blockchain for the money, who are now going to AI for the money. There's nothing going to be
Okay.
because it was like the people who were hustlers and just seeking crazy opportunity, they went to blockchain because that's where all the investor money was. And those same people have left blockchain. They never actually cared about the tech, and now they're working in AI.
Okay.
And even though I have done both, blockchain was completely by accident. I actually had an unfair advantage because one of my friends became a founding member. He was a founding member of Ethereum, and I was a friend from New York City nightlife. And he left New York in 2013, met Vitalik, and he was on the founding team. Like, he's on all the pictures of the founding team of Ethereum. So I had an unfair advantage. And then with AI, it's just like we have this widely used cloud-based voice app. And it's, yeah, throw an AI voice changer into it. It's a no-brainer that it's going to make us a lot of money. That one is just, and it can be really useful in a lot of ways. Like I think just AI, I believe in blockchain as a tech, as like a technology. I actually believe in it. I think most cryptocurrencies are scams. I think Bitcoin is pretty much the only thing that you can trust in crypto. And with AI but I also think AI has far more utility. It's obvious. some people say AI is bigger than the iPhone. And why wouldn't that be true? The amount of applications that ChatGPT is the fastest growing product of all time. There's a reason for that, because it's truly amazing. I can't believe, I was just having this conversation at dinner. I can't believe, like, we live in a sci-fi novel. It's so weird that I had, like, Bing added an AI GPT messenger into Bing 2 months ago. For 2 months, I've had basically this assistant in my phone who I can ask the question to, and I can put in a one sentence question. I don't need to do any research through the SERPs, through search engine results pages. And it just tells me the answer. That's crazy. And now with plugins, and Google Bard is putting in plugins of their own, where you'll be able to connect, just be able to use this AI chat as basically an interface for all your apps that are connected to one another. And you can say, get plane tickets, or just plan an entire, your budget is, you can say your budget is $20,000, plan a 2-month trip to New York City and book everything, flights, restaurants, etc. Really book everything. Your budget is $20,000. Don't go over that. And soon, this isn't the case now, but this will be the case in a couple of months. It will be able to do that. That's science fiction. And this is real. This is our present. I don't think, like, people are sleeping on just how stupid weird the world has gotten. I'm a young guy. I'm in my early 30s, but even I'm not taking this for granted. Like, this is 20 years ago, you would see this in cartoons and people wouldn't take it seriously. Probably even 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Probably even 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you would see this in cartoons and you wouldn't take it seriously. See, I actually think 5 years ago you would, and you wouldn't take it seriously. When OpenAI was founded, they were laughed at. The team was laughed at. And yeah, everybody on every podcast everywhere is talking about AI. I think I know a lot more about it than a lot of other people, but I don't know, it's a weird world.
So would you say that really the chase is on for acquiring as much first-party data as possible in order to not just influence your
That's really
product
useful.
and sales?
That's really useful. That's a great question too. That's a good way. If you're a software business and you have users, user data is so valuable because it can help train an AI and it can be unique. And yeah, and you can price that data really high. And yeah, that's really, I don't want to seem like this money hungry, exploitative founder who was like, we're going to take all the users' data. But no, that's like a real monetization strategy, is having useful data to help advertisers and to help inform product managers and designers. And yeah, that's a really, lots of companies are generating very valuable data sets and data lakes. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's try and wrap this up. Edward, perhaps aspects to this whole idea of AI-assisted SEO that you find doesn't get talked about very much? If so, what would they be?
I think it's just targeting bottom of funnel keywords. That was even 5 years ago, that was a more lucrative use of time and resource than writing skyscraper technique, 4,000, 3,000 word article. Like, when you see actually when you see the extent to which targeting bottom of funnel keywords is more effective than targeting top of funnel keywords, you feel sick that you wasted your time on targeting bottom of funnel keywords and putting in so much thought and effort into writing a 3,000 word piece. And funny enough, like, those guys really are the losers, because those people are going to be the people who are disrupted the most by conversational AI when it comes to SEO. And the bottom of funnel people will actually have much more of a shot of retaining their traffic. And people didn't really realize that it could be this easy to get traffic from Google, like traffic that would convert to paying users or whatever it is that you have, customers or users, whatever it is. And so people were really sleeping on like how to just the thought of doing bottom of funnel, short form bottom of funnel content, and then how to do it. And I think that's the most important. I think that's the most important thing for sure. Now, the question, is it a good use? Will it still be like very lucrative with conversational AI? Because actually it's not as, if I'm being honest, it's not as predictable a success as it was with search engines. With search engines, it was actually very predictable. You target these bottom of funnel keywords, the competition on them isn't so hot and the volume isn't so great that you can rank for these keywords. And then they will actually make you, even something that's getting 500 searches a month will still actually end up making you substantial money.
Mm.
Because conversational AI is less exact. It's less exact match. Whereas like exact match works pretty well on Google. It doesn't work as well with conversational AI. And so it's still targeting bottom of funnel keywords will work with conversational AI, but I don't think it's going to be the same as it was with Google. If you want a tremendous growth hack, like a really big hack in your marketing, you should do mobile. You should like make a lot of video with mobile and use a tool like reusevideo.com and just have it simultaneously go to every other social media platform. And
Right.
it's such a small time investment. And I don't know, that's what a growth hack is. Something that is small time investment, a
Yeah.
small money investment, and small effort investment, and gets you great results. And like, I can, this is crazy to me. I am basically my own product hunt now. I am my own Reddit. 6 months ago, I relied on Product Hunt and I relied on Reddit to drive users to my products and services. And now I am those platforms myself.
Mm.
And so people try to pay me to advertise their products because I am a brand now. I am an influencer.
Mm.
And I actually say no because I literally started this for myself and for my own startups. But I like, yeah, I think that's just the best growth hack is I'm so passionate about it because anyone can do it. Anyone can get started and you don't have to, like, for your podcast, you have to promote your podcast.
Yeah.
You have to do marketing for your podcast. It used to be, if you make a YouTube video, you have to do marketing for your YouTube video or else no one is going to see it. And that's not the case anymore. Now the algorithms will suggest your content based on what is in it, based on what is in it, based on the audio, based on the transcript that it generates, based on the keywords, and based on previous behavior from viewers of your videos. And yeah, I just think it's the best.
Brilliant. If listeners are curious, want to find out more or connect with you, Edward, where would you recommend they head to?
I have a newsletter, a growth marketing newsletter that I put out every week, edwardsturm.com/newsletter. Right now, I opened up my calendar for people because I want to learn about the people who like my content. So you can go to, if the link stays the same, it's edwardslink.com, but also edwardsturm.com has a calendar link on it too.
Okay.
My social media, my TikTok is called Build in Public. If you search Build in Public on TikTok, I'm the first thing that comes up. So I think is pretty cool because Build in Public is a pretty big search term. And on Instagram, you can just search Edward Sturm. And yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I think those two channels are the best, or just contact me through my website.
Terrific. I will include links to that in the show notes. Edward, this has been fantastic, very insightful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, dude, you asked great questions. This was one of my favorite. I've been on so many podcasts now. This is one of my favorite ones that I've been on. real talk, because you really asked smart, thought-provoking questions. And so, yeah, this was great. I enjoyed talking with you.
Appreciate it. And likewise.
Thank you.